Hey Dad, I just wanted to show you my finished brewery, and I'm about to do my first all-grain batch of beer. I'd show you the outside of the shed that I got, but it is absolutely pissing outside. So I'll take a couple pictures and send that to you. But anyways, let's do a quick little walkthrough. The shed's about 16 by 10 foot. I got my little butcher block with my brew log, my bench capper for when I'm bottling. Those are all the different types of hops that I'm going to be using for this brew. I got some Warrior hops for bitterness, some Columbus in the middle of the boil for aroma and bitterness, and then I got some Citra that's going to give us a nice little aroma, little citrusy flavor to it. And that right there is some whole hops, and since I'm making a 10-gallon batch this time, I'm going to do 5 gallons of regular beer, and then I'm going to dry hop 5 gallons of beer just to do a little test. I have my giant immersion wort chiller that's going to cool all my wort when it's all done, right before I put it in the fermenter. That red thing and the tubing right below it is actual just pure oxygen. Instead of me trying to pour 5 gallons of wort over a screen to kind of aerate it and pour it back and forth, I just hook that little guy up, stick it in the fermenter, turn it on for about 2 minutes, and it's going to give it just nothing but pure oxygen, which is going to do great for the yeast, which I have the yeast starter ready, and that's in the house. That right there is my heat exchanger that's going to basically be put in my hot liquor tank, and I'm going to run all my wort through that to keep the perfect temperature. There's my ingredients. I have 14 pounds of raw Pils malt, which is a German malt. It's going to give it just a nice light beer. I got 2 pounds of Carapillis, which is going to give it some mouthfeel and a little bit of body, and I have 2 pounds of Caramel 40, which is going to give it just a little bit of hue of color, a little bit of a caramel sweetness, just a hint, because it's only 2 pounds. And then right there is a pound of rice hulls, which when mixed together with the grains and all that, make sure I don't get a stuck sparge, makes everything work better, doesn't really do anything for flavor or anything. I'm going to back up a little bit. There's my blue cabinet where I keep all my supplies, my refrigerator where I keep all my beer, the Mr. Beer brew kit, which I brewed my very first batch of beer in, that Jackie gave me for Christmas. And here's my new setup. I rearranged my garage so it's a little bit easier to do. But orange thing is the the mash tun. That's where I'm going to put all my grains. The one in the middle is the hot liquor tank, and the one on the right is the kettle. And what I have around that is called Reflectix. It's a heat, what do they call it? I'm sorry. Insulation. Basically, the only reason I'm using that is so I don't have to use so much propane. And whenever I get my kettle and whatnot up to the temperature that I need, it'll actually help keep it there longer. I actually made a little jig of Reflectix for the top of my hot liquor tank. Top of my kettle, it's got some iodophor in there, sanitizing, getting ready to pump into that thing. I got my little shells with all my cleaners on it, my Star San, iodophor, some PBW. That's all the stuff I use to clean and sanitize everything. Got the propane tank, and this is my sink that I installed myself. And over there is the water filter, so I have nice clean water for my beer. Got all my cleaning supplies, some spray bottles, a washing nozzle for when I'm cleaning the kettles and all that, which is conveniently hooked up to that hose right there, so I can wash everything in the house. It's real nice and easy. This is Jackie's table that I did for her. She's got this whole little set it for her little projects, but I took it over on Brew Day just to sanitize all my equipment. There's my airlocks and funnel, thermometer, thermo, hydrometer, bucket full of sanitizer just in case I need to sanitize everything. Got my little bottle rack for when I'm done drinking beer. I can just rinse it off, throw it on there. So, and then that's a cooler that was going to be my mash tun, but I built a prototype, so that is just going to be a sanitized storage thing for all my hoses and utensils and everything that I'm going to use while I'm brewing. And I got my rack for my carboys. I have 4 6.5 gallon carboys, so basically I can do 10 gallons of beer at a time. So instead of having to brew every single week, I can brew twice a week and get the same yield, or I can brew every week and get twice the yield. And the front door, and there's the house, and do a little more wrap around as I'm walking back out the door. But there it is, my 1/10 scale brewery. Love you, Dad.